If you enjoy this video, drop a like.
Women and hoes. You hear those terms a lot. Now naturally, of course you're going to hear the term women as you do with men. But a lot of people in the red post space, they like to mix the two together. Sometimes people will only refer to women as hoes. And I could see why regular dudes, they're just trying to learn or just consume the fix of YouTube, daily dose if you will, would be somewhat confused. What is the difference? Because it's starting to get to the point where people just randomly throw in the term hoe to pretty much every female without a background check and not knowing anything about them. So let me tell you the difference between a woman and a hoe. Man, it really isn't that difficult, man. Just know this. A woman is essentially a woman. Well, let me rephrase that. A woman is essentially a girl who's been raised properly, has good feminine energy, has all of the qualities of a woman and of what a woman should have. So we class them as a woman. We class them as women, as they are. Now a hoe is a woman that's promiscuous, man. A hoe is a woman that doesn't have their shit in checked mentally. Everything starts mentally, man. The life that you play out loud, the life that you exhibit to the world and show, through the physical world. It all starts with that spirit, that soul, that mental up there, man. And a hoe, they don't have that in check. Many reasons, but you'd be surprised how much it stems from home. That's usually how things tend to go. And somewhere in that point, there was a boundary mishap. The parents fucked up. The parents failed. And then the woman became a hoe. And what you tend to see with hoes, they tend to have many sexual partners, and they tend to really devalue their sexual purity to which everyone initially had from birth. And they tend to throw that away. Now, these hoes are the people that you see on maybe TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts. And it even gets deeper, maybe even OnlyFans or the Hub. And they would present themselves in a very derogatory, vulgar manner. Very sexualized indeed. So all of those people you see on the internet showing their bodies and whatnot, you can call them a hoe. Because real women, regular women, they don't act like that because they have decency. Whether they're religious or not. Because there's even some secular people. They may not have all of the screws together in terms of it's something way bigger than us humans. But even then, regular women have the decency to realize my body is pure, it's not something to be thrown away. So easily, of course. It's an intimate part, a very intimate part. And how men are. We're all wired for sex. Regular women realize the value of that. They realize sexual market value as they should, and as us men do too. If not, then we should too. They realize, man, it's pure. We shouldn't be throwing it away. It's not worth the squeeze. And you lot gotta realize, man, not every money is good money, man. You may have a period in your life, man. You may get a massive opportunity from someone, but it doesn't match with your morals, but it's a big bulk of money, so it can be very tempting. And the opposition may tempt you that too. And it may be something like drugs. It may be something like selling your body on the internet or selling a product that you don't usually use, but you think to do so just for the sake of profit. So that's the difference between a woman and a hoe, man. A woman is just a woman that has all of the feminine traits that make her a woman. So it starts off as a girl, of course, and then, grow old and whatnot. Females, if you will. And, come out nicely. You become a nice, respectable woman. Pretty simple. Self-explanatory. Not much heavy explanations needed here. And of course, hoes, they tend to be damaged from a traumatic experience which stems from their past. And it bleeds into their adulthood. Unfortunately, sometimes even very common, you see this nowadays, even in teenagehood. It can really affect people from those age ranges, which is very bad. And it's becoming more and more normalized nowadays. It's not unplausible by society terms to see a teenager shaking her ass. I know it's mad, but it's unfortunate. Some of these girls get into the adult industry. I'm referring to the hoes here. Some of these hoes get into the adult industry, younger ages, teenagers. Some of it gets pushed to the extreme, really bad. It goes into childhood. I don't even want to talk about that. But yeah, that's the difference between a woman and a hoe. Women they both start off as regular girls, and it really comes down to upbringing. The foundations that your parents instilled onto you, or next of kin. The influence, the area around you really does influence you, whether that be your family or your local community environment, whether that be your town, your country, or just your neighborhood in general. You'd be surprised how much that shapes you. And the first 7 years of your life, man, those first 7 years, bro, God, I can only hope that, obviously, present day of what happened in someone's past, whether that be adult or teenager, can't be undone. But I can only pray to God that, the next generation, they're in a better position from growing up. And it starts with us, guys. We make the next generation. We can breed the next generation. Don't rush into it. It's just going to create more and more problems. When the father's away from home, many statistics, and you can search this up, when the father's away from home, more crimes tend to be exhibited by both men and women. But we're talking about women here because it's a women video. So in other words, when the man's away, the head of the house is gone, there's a lot less of a structure into the family, the nuclear family dynamic. Even having the father away in general, that's a big red flag. And yes, for some situations it cannot be helped, right? I'm speaking from experience. Fortunate, life happens, and then you don't have a dad anymore, happens. And that's not me saying that and stereotyping the notion that women and just girls who grew up in a single parent household in general are certain to come out bad simply because of the fact that they have no father. They still have their mum and, a next of kins, and God willing they have good influence. And I'm speaking as a testament. I have two sisters myself, and they came up pretty good despite our unfortunate shortcomings of, not being able to have a father to the extent of which we should have. But I digress. The point applies. It's about your environment, man. So what's the difference between a woman and a hoe? I'll say this one more time. They both start off as little girls, and it really just comes down to the fact of the qualities to which they carry. One is sexually promiscuous and doesn't truly understand the gift that she's been given. A body being a gift from God, a body being a temple, the Holy Spirit, all that good stuff. And she's had a bad environment around her, who's only exploited her for sexual purposes. Hence the body and whatnot being indoctrinated in that sense, which is really sad. And women, just regular women are pretty much the opposite. A lady, if you will. You name the term, doesn't really matter. But the point applies, it differs from a hoe in the sense of, like the promiscuous woman, started off as a regular girl too, and naturally you grow over time and become a mature woman, keeping your morals in place. And with that, you're more than able to class yourself as a woman, by my eyes, of course. That's all.